we're gonna open up with the roll call vote. Bob?
Here.
Holly?
Here.
Holly is on Zoom. Lucas?
Here.
Lucas is on Zoom. Sean?
Here.
Justin is here. Andy, Cindy, and Yvonne are not present with us tonight. So first order of business is going to be approval of the past 2 meeting minutes. This was for July and October. Any discussion on the minutes? Any changes, corrections? All right, can I get a motion?
Motion to approve, accept the minutes as written.
Motion, can I get a second?
Seconded.
Have a second, roll call vote. Bob?
Aye.
Holly?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Justin, aye. Minutes are approved as written. So I wanted to talk with either Cindy or Yvonne about doing the committee calendar, give it to somebody new. But with neither of them here, I'm just going to pass on that. We'll bring it up in January, which will probably be a good time to get everything in order on what we want to do. So just skipping ahead real quick, we will not have a meeting in December. So if everybody will just start thinking about things that we want to plan for next year. Holly, you obviously have the food drives, so you know what months are good for that. Sean, you've been running great with the meet and greets, so if you want to think of another opportunity about that. Lucas, I do want these event calendars to mix. So we will have trustees and we will have Veterans Advisory Committees as well. So just thinking about some of the dedications and things that we had talked about. There is some. There's some stuff that we're going to sort out in the January meeting, but it sounds like maybe Sampson Square was already dedicated. So,
Okay.
Yeah, more to come on that.
All right.
So, moving on from committee calendar. Oh, give it a minute. It looks like Andy just joined us. Andy, can you hear us?
Not yet.
Oh, no. I heard the ding.
We're waiting for his equipment. Just continue, I'll let you know when he's up.
Okay. So food drive. Holly, I think you gave us an update last time. So really the only thing I was curious about this time is what we just talked about is just thinking about when we want to do our next one.
Yeah, so just to make sure you guys can hear me okay, can you?
Yep, got you loud and clear.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think the only thing I didn't follow up is, and I cannot remember the gentleman's name. I know I coordinated with Michael over at the DAV, but I think it was either Dave or Dan that picked everything up, and he was quick. He was like by the next day after that email. So he got everything there. He was really excited. We talked about some better time frames, and he said he was thinking like mid-February through mid-April, if we can only do it for 30 days at a point.
Okay. Sounds good. Do they like the food and toiletry items, or do they care?
When we talked briefly, he mentioned alternating. So 1 month toiletry, next month food.
Okay. That would work.
And I did get the list from Andy for the other churches, so thank you, Andy. So I'll put those in the pitch. Then there was a couple other point of contacts. So I think I have a much bigger forum. I just gotta gather the boxes and then I'll work on the flyers and all that fun jazz. And then make sure both churches, the Catholic Church and the other side, they're good with the dates before we hit the go button.
Okay. So Anne Marie, during one of the recent events that we had, she was telling Bob and I about the Stop and Shop in Shrewsbury shutting down, and how they were giving out donations of the food that they had left. Unfortunately, when I found out, they had already shut the doors, so they weren't. There was nobody there I could talk to. But that could be something to maybe talk with this Stop and Shop manager to see if maybe he knows what other stores are closing, and then maybe they can coordinate with us to do this kind of veteran drive. Sean?
A recent email that I saw, a little news blurb, was that they were already shuttered. Because I went to Lincoln Plaza, Stop and Shop at Lincoln Plaza was shut also.
Oh, okay, so we might have missed the boat on that one. Okay.
Um,
All right. And just for the record, Andy, can you hear us?
I can hear you, but can you see me?
No, we're having Zoom problems.
I see that.
Yeah.
I just got Sean's email, so I'm a little late coming in here, so.
No worries. No worries. You haven't missed much. We were just finishing up the food drive conversation. So, okay. So we'll just Holly. Don't worry about Stop and Shop. Then we'll just press forward with what we've been doing. Glad to hear that the DAB has been enjoying or appreciating the work that you've been putting together and things like that. It might actually be worth getting a little bit more information next time from them on, I'm trying to think. I'm thinking through this like, I go every year and brief the select board on everything we've done. And it would be nice to be able to tell them, hey, we're providing this much food or it's helping out this many families. So if they could just let us know, that kind of helps put it in perspective for the select board, the work that the committee is doing.
Yeah, I can send them a follow-up email, see if they have any quantifiable data, how that spread went.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not looking for anything crazy, just simple numbers.
Yeah, understood. And just a caveat, the toiletries are a little bit tougher because some of the items I did receive, I was kind of, I don't know, I wasn't sure if they can use it. And he was going to say, like, whatever they don't use, they do find a place for it. It might not be, at one spot, but it can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that might be good to get as well, so nothing's wasted. And then obviously with the food, I know we have the scouts usually check like expiration dates and stuff. So before that goes forward.
Okay.
So I'll definitely reach out and see if they. I just can't. Do you remember his name? Was it a Dave or a Dan? So I got his email, but all I have is the first letter.
They both sound right. I think they have a Dave and a Dan.
Okay. All right. I'll do more research on the website and I'll just follow up with Mike.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions, comments? All right. Moving on to the big event for this committee, the comedy night. Sean, I'm going to call it a success.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people there. They seemed to have a good time, especially Lucas sitting in the front row.
Yeah, it did help that Lucas was a team player on that one.
Yeah.
I call it, as you said, a success. A lot of bodies in the building, or in the room rather. Everybody had a good time. We would like to see more veterans present. However, I feel getting people in the room gets word of mouth out there.
Yeah.
And, so it's just gonna, next time be hopefully bigger and better.
Yeah.
And so that's my gist. And everybody I talked to as far as, asking them to put up flyers and such as that, everybody was receptive to the idea, so, yeah. And I did some mailbox stuffing, which I guess isn't always legal, but hey.
Edit that out, please, Bill.
Yeah, right. The only disappointment that I had was the fact that I personally talked to a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I didn't see one of them. So, but hey, you never know.
Yeah.
I'll never say never.
It did seem like, like I pulled Greg and his wife up It seemed like some of the people were just maybe target of opportunity. They were there and decided to pop
Yeah.
on in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been something that I think we've noticed with advertising across the board is it's always, well, I didn't know about this. You get a big population of people that didn't know about it.
Right.
And it's a struggle to figure out
Yeah.
how to reach them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, I think going forward, once we put our calendar together, any and every opportunity we have to either both post or select board, whatever, we say, hey, listen, this is on our agenda, this is on our calendar, whether it's on our agenda for August and we're talking about it in January, just talk it up all the time
yeah.
and go from there.
I think Facebook, the social media sites are also
Mm-hmm.
the big
Yeah.
ones, and there's so many like Grafton Happenings, which is a new one that I just joined to help out. There's a couple of other ones out there that I think we just need to bombard as well.
Okay. Yeah. But I think maybe, I'm toying with some ideas for some little things.
Yeah.
You know, be it Valentine's Day or, as I mentioned to you, St. Patrick's Day, corned beef dinner, you know, maybe not dinner, maybe just corned beef sandwiches, type of thing, or, you know, whatever, some events that we can, piggyback on,
Yep.
you know, so.
So on my social media, I get feeds from different veterans organizations, including, remember the young man that joined us on Zoom? A lot of things that he promotes on social media show up in my feed because I know him.
Excuse me, Irreverent Warriors, is that
Right.
the one?
David,
Okay, yep,
David Summers, yeah.
yep,
And I noticed that a lot of veterans organizations, this is across the country, they do things like, they do cruiser night, you know, where the hot rods all pile into the parking lot and they turn it into a veterans night.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how you connect the two, but that's how they promote it. A friend in Georgia was involved with veterans cookout or veterans barbecue or whatever they, you know. So you pick a night and you pick a location and it's just a barbecue and you invite veterans. Now, that one might be a little bit more iffy because you don't know how many people are gonna show up and how much food you need, you know, so.
mm-hmm,
But you could have an event and just slap the heading, you know, this is a veterans event and see what we get.
sure,
And I think that it doesn't have to say Veterans Advisory Committee is holding this event, you could just say it's Cruise and Hot Rod Night, and at the bottom,
We will
sponsored
be
by,
there.
sponsored by Veterans Advisory, you know, just, and that way, it's not so much like, oh, we're gonna go talk to those guys, you know, no, it's come see the hot rods, or, you know, come to the fish fry, or come to whatever
Yeah.
we end up doing.
yeah. I know, Upton, throughout the summer, every Tuesday night, has a classic car
Right.
meetup. So, like, we just pop in and talk to those guys and tag along,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah, during the summer, they're all over the place. I mean,
yeah.
they're up at the Candy Mansion on Route 20.
Yep,
Yeah.
So they're out there. It's just a matter of corralling and bringing them in.
Right.
And then as far as participation, what you said about
Mhm.
you know, asking people and they still don't show up, it's almost like getting people to the polls to vote. If you don't show up at their house and drive them to the event, they're not. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
you can lead a horse to water, but that's about it. You know, it's like
yeah,
Well, and I wonder if, depending on what we do, I mean, would a bus, like you have pickup spots around town,
Yep.
and you just, maybe there's 3 or 4, and you just have a bus that goes and picks them up? I don't know, I mean, if there's, what I'm getting at is, I think there's different options that we can help people get there if that's what they need.
if we could rent a red, white, and blue bus with a big sign, follow us to the Veterans Cookout.
Yeah,
Or follow us to the Veterans Car Show, or,
well, Council on Aging has a van.
Yeah.
Granted, that's specific to them,
yeah,
but,
but we could decorate it.
yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm, sure. That's a cool idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I think you have a lot of great ideas for, and these are things that definitely want to talk about next year to open this up.
What I'd like to do is that, similar to what your friend there, the Reverend Warriors mentioned. Okay, so you do a video, and I asked about, we did video our comedy night. So you do a video and say, hey, look, this is what you missed. Next time, be there, type of thing. And it doesn't matter, because they can't see if it's only 3 people
Yeah.
or 300 in the room. You missed it. So that's the kind of stuff that I wanna put out there, maybe we do it now, do a little bit of that now, but then when we get going, we're gonna do something else, say, hey, listen, the last time, this is what you missed, don't miss it,
Yeah.
So we could take the promotional video that Steve Scarfo sent us
Yeah,
and just put it out there again.
yeah,
And I can run it through the editing software, and I can take out the audio, and I can put a graphic right across the front of this, right across his face that says, you missed this event, it will return next year, and
Yeah.
put it on the Veterans Facebook page, and then,
Sure.
and we can promote it all from there.
yeah,
You also had still photos too. You could also do some slides with that. since they
The still
won't
photo,
let
yeah,
us.
but the still, I only took 4 or 5 still photos, and in a darkened space like that,
yeah.
you're kinda like, what am I looking at, So,
Well, okay, so maybe another lesson learned if we do another comedy night is we're gonna take, just agree to a quick promo video, like a 30-second promo video or something. Like we'll take a clip
Yeah.
out of this. You let us know which one. Doesn't
Yeah.
We'll take a clip out of it, and then that's what we'll use to help drive attendance next
And-
time.
Another thing, I think, if we could maybe, we did the post because it's no expense.
Yeah.
And centrally located. But if we look at a different venue, maybe Apple Tree Arts or something like that, where they have their own following, we'll call it that. If we can glean from their following,
Yeah.
the target audience we want, but at maybe a slightly different venue, may be perceived in a different way, because, I'm not saying we are, but sometimes maybe people are saying, I don't wanna go to the post for all the reasons we've heard people don't go to the post.
Do it at the Commons.
I have a genuine concern about not having it at the Post or a similar venue. Part of my concern was, if we hadn't held the comedy night at that particular location,
We'd be, I know I see where you're going.
we had a ready-made audience downstairs, all we had to do was lasso them up and bring them upstairs.
Yes, yes,
So it was it was not heavy lifting.
I agree.
But if we
Yeah.
held an event like that, we held it here, would people get off their bar stools and come? That's my concern.
Yeah, no, I
So-
agree with you.
No, but what if we were to tag up with the people that put on the farmers market? They have singers and stuff like that, right? And you've got kind of a ready-made audience.
Yeah.
So instead of a singer, we say, hey, we're going to bring in our own singer. We're going to bring in our own. We're going to do a comedy night thing,
Yeah,
and everybody's there. Get up and say, hey, Veterans Advisory Committee. Here's what we're doing, and then
Yeah.
that could be a kind of a cheating way to get your name out quick.
there must be, maybe there's some guys that play guitar,
Yeah.
and they would, hey, we're doing a comedy night, can you come in and, while people are milling about, you play some music for us?
Yeah.
Type of thing.
One of the things we're trying to do here, I think, is to bring get the family in. Is that not true?
Yeah.
And if we have a bar room, basically, is it not, really conducive to family?
Well, their comedy sketches were not conducive to family.
Yeah, I didn't hear the content of the show itself, so, but what we've been talking about is the bringing the families in,
Yeah.
So if we had a different venue where we wouldn't have a bar room, we'd have soft drinks or something for family, that might be another approach.
Yep, I agree. So I think, there's a lot of great ideas. I would say if you're serious about Valentine's, given we're not gonna have another meeting until January.
That's a short.
It is, but it's doable if it's small. So I would say if it's, and we can communicate over email, so if you've got, just send it out to the Veterans Advisory Committee distro, if you've got some ideas between now and then, and we could come into January's meeting ready to start making decisions on it.
Right, okay.
I think that we'll be okay. It's just, it is a quick turn, so.
I know. I was actually thinking of, how sometimes places will say, hey, come on in and like, I don't know, we'll pick on a Stop and Shop. Say, hey, every veteran gets a free rose on Valentine's Day. Just show your ID, get a free rose. So I was thinking more something on that idea, only with cookies,
Yeah,
like little hot cookies or something to that effect. We'll see. I
Okay.
Gotta figure out who can make that many cookies.
yeah.
Guys, as far as an impromptu type, activity, would we consider our group, as small as it is, inviting several other people to join us at a location to be determined, and write some Christmas cards to veterans or something that are still serving someplace?
I didn't catch that.
Writing Christmas cards to veterans, deployed veterans.
Individual families to, say, the senior center, and get hold of some Christmas cards, and Jeff can provide some addresses to us. We write some Christmas cards from our group to whomever we can send them to.
Okay, I hear you. Now I hear you.
Okay?
Bob, do you
And
do?
invite as many people as you can individually, your neighbors, your friends. Although we all of us have basically the same group of friends a little bit, but reach out a little bit, awake a couple of neighbors over and invite them to a place we'll provide the Christmas cards, we'll provide the postage, but Jeff will provide the names of veterans we can send these cards to, and just do something nice for Christmas for the veterans.
Don't you do videos?
We do. When we have our annual open house,
Yeah.
the foot traffic comes in, and we're never really 100% certain who the video is for.
Mm-hmm.
It's advertised as come in and send the video to family members deployed overseas. So when they leave their email address for us, and we send them the finished product, a day or two later, it goes to grandma or it goes to dad, at sea on a ship somewhere. We don't know.
Yeah.
However, jumping off what Andy said, if we purchased a bunch of Christmas cards and had them available here for the open house, and we could say, before you leave, would you please sign a Christmas card? We're going to mail these off to veterans, and I mean, we have the foot traffic coming in that way, and we might get 10 or 15 cards filled out that we can mail out.
Okay.
How about, I'm not sure how many people are there, but we have, in Grafton Housing, we have Veteran Circle, which I'm assuming is Veterans Housing. So that would be a start. At least, find out how many people we have in Veterans Housing and send those cards out.
Yeah, that'll work too.
Well, so we're not having a meeting between now and December, so remember that as well, that
Well,
this
then-
is all, we gotta do this now.
So then we gotta get some information together, if we can pull it together.
So baby steps first.
Yeah.
So if we get a package of 15 or 20 Christmas cards, or
Yeah.
whatever they come in,
Yeah,
that's an easy purchase.
Yes.
We have them here for the open house.
Yes.
Bill and I are here for every open house, and we talk to every family that comes through the door.
mm-hmm,
And it's a 10-second request, can you please sign a card, we're gonna ship these off to veterans. That's done, that's easy.
Yeah.
yeah, mm-hmm.
And then, beyond that, into January, February, March, we can come up with something different.
So,
Yeah.
okay, I'm on Grafton Housing Authority. So if I can, without violating any rules,
Which we know you do very often.
I'll tell you what,
Something else done it out.
I'll talk to Amanda and say, Amanda, without giving me names, just give me a head count. How many people do you have? and we could address it to Dear Grafton Veteran.
Right.
Hand it to Amanda. It's all postmarked, ready to go.
And they take it
She
from
just
there.
puts an address on it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so I think
Okay.
I can get that together
Yep.
for you before your open
Yep.
house,
Yep.
which is December 8th.
It's Sunday, December 8th, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
so I say we do that. So can I get a motion to purchase Christmas cards?
I move we authorize the committee to spend up to $50 for Christmas cards to be used for the Grafton TV open house, and the cards will be delivered to veterans organizations locally and around the world.
All right, I have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second.
I have a second. All right, roll call vote. Bob DeToma,
Aye?
Andy,
Aye.
Holly,
Aye.
Lucas,
Aye.
Sean,
Aye.
Justin, aye. Okay, approved to purchase Christmas cards up to $50. So, and I like the idea of of doing it either locally or overseas. We
Yeah.
can. What I don't want is if they all live in a veteran circle and then like half of them get Christmas cards and the other half don't.
I
That might
agree.
be something to
I
consider.
agree. I'll make sure on that one, but.
I was gonna say we can always address a few other ones if we need to.
Yeah.
But so okay, no, I think that's great. Kind of went off topic there. Anything else about comedy night?
No, not at the moment.
But hey, all right. So moving on. So I put Veterans Day on here because there was a lot of miscommunication that came out right before Veterans Day, and Bob and I and Sean were really jumping through hoops trying to figure out what was going on. The story for everybody online is that Jeff Farrell, the VSO, reached out to Bob that Monday or that Friday before Veterans Day. We had about a week, and said, "I heard that y'all were putting on the Veterans Day ceremony," and of course nobody had talked to us about that. So turns out it was just miscommunication on Jeff's part, but that led us to basically trying to get in touch with everybody to figure out what was going on. I think like 4 days before the ceremony, we finally had an answer.
Yep.
So this led to talking to Mike after the Veterans Day ceremony, and then I also talked to Carmen on comedy night that I want to start to make it a thing where in January we invite Carmen and Mike, the VFW and the Legion, to our January meeting. It'll give us a chance to set the calendar. What are they going to do for the year? What are we going to do? And then also start early planning a Memorial Day parade. Backing up,
Yeah.
one of the things that really stressed me out during Memorial Day was there was a lot of back and forth about what part of the parade were we actually planning. We were given some very general information, and I wanted to make sure nothing fell through the cracks. So for the January meeting, I'm going to hold Carmen, and I've already told him this, but I'm going to hold Carmen to tell me, hey, this is what I want you to do. So we make sure that we do that. We have been getting a lot of positive feedback from Carmen and Mike at the VFW about the town involvement increasing and the scouts and everything like that. So all the work that everyone in this committee has been doing as far as recruiting people and letting others know that these events are going on is really paying off. Evan was actually there at the Veterans Day ceremony as well, which a lot of people were really proud, happy that he came out for us. So, but Dave Meridian and Moore was not there, and I then started wondering if they were actually invited.
I believe they were pre-committed to other towns.
Okay.
Mr. Moore is a Millbury resident, and he does not come to Veterans Day at Grafton very often.
Okay.
He does his thing in Millbury. He also does his thing in Millbury for Memorial Day.
Okay.
We very seldom see him in Grafton for either of those events. question of Justin, as far as Veterans Day, and I had conversations with Mike Moran and Carmen also, with regard to the Vietnam Memorial Plaque and the flagpole. They had, no one contacted me.
We reached out to Carmen. I didn't have Mike's communicate emails at the time.
Did he reply? Because he said they didn't know anything about it.
No, I don't know. Well, Lucas, I'm assuming no. I know I reached out. Lucas, did you reach out? I thought I forwarded you the email as well to follow up. Maybe I didn't.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. But no,
The only thing I got was like the people that you were going to be contacting.
Yeah.
So then I have a list next year for the next event.
okay. Yeah, so we did reach out, but I know Carmen doesn't always he's not always on his email and things, and at the time I did not have Mike Moran's information. I remedied that though on Veterans Day. So I have his information as well. And Carmen is on my veterans email distro that I have as well. So I'll go in and check that again to make sure he's still on it.
Okay.
But it honestly, it was, I'm not going to say it was last minute, but it wasn't as, we didn't plan it out as far in advance as we have other things like the comedy night. So,
Right.
We were trying to get it done. So I just figured that it was a little too quick of a turn for him. But that's part of the reason why we're going to start inviting them in January to talk about these things.
I did want to thank Bob. I did hear the selectmen's meeting tonight when he announced it, that the plaque would be dedicated and the flagpoles. I did hear it. Thank you very much for the kudo on that, Bob. I've been working on that since 2009. I'm glad finally to get it off my plate.
Wow.
Well, so we were talking about you when they were doing the plaque, especially with Moore and Meridian and Foley. So
Yeah.
they all threw shout outs to you as well. And then when we were telling them how long you were working it, they were like, oh my gosh. So
Well, the one gentleman that started the whole mess in 2009, I got an email through Justin Suso, who was a prior veterans agent, and from an Alfred Walker, okay, and he was in a PO condition with the veterans agent because his name wasn't on the plaque, on the first plaque. I wanted to know when his name was going to show up on another one. And he started the whole thing, and I got that email, and unfortunately for me, they gave him my phone number too, so he was in my face every month, wanted to know his status. So I thought when the plaque was made, and I knew it was being delivered, I called him, and Crown sent me a picture of what the plaque was going to look like, and I forwarded it to him. And he says, I thought I was going to die before this thing was actually made. So he was a happy camper, I think, for the first time since 2009.
well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
That's
Good.
that's the goal of this committee is we got to push these things through. So we're getting caught up, especially the trustees. We'll be there here. We'll get caught up next year, but then we got to move on to the other ones. As far as Veterans Day goes, next year. So I did not talk about this before this year on our agendas because in the past really didn't know where we fit in besides inviting people, and we did that, and I just felt like it didn't need to be an agenda topic. Going forward, though, I'll probably keep this on as an agenda topic. In October timeframe, we can just talk about it, and we'll just do what we've been doing. Just make sure that everybody advertising the different ceremonies and things like that is going on. So. Kids deployment line, this was just a placeholder, so there's no updates on that. We will need to start planning that though next year. jumping down to 2025 items. So these are some big items that I would like this committee to start thinking about. Right now, we've been focused on a lot of outreach, a lot of building goodwill with our neighbors, if you will, and the residents. But I think that there's some political stuff that we should also start to look at getting involved with. Two of those are working with the EDC to bring in more veteran-owned businesses. I'd like to see how we can do that. I mentioned this briefly to Anne Marie Foley, and she thought it was a great idea. And then also options to lower veteran property taxes on houses. So the state just passed, I just forgot the name of the law, but your property taxes, if you're disabled, you get a certain amount that comes off your property taxes based off of your disability rating. I'm curious if the town is able to do something above and beyond that. And so I want to start talking to the town about that to see where they are. That one I really feel is a long shot, but I think it's still worth that we have these conversations and look to do this. This is really what I feel like the goal of this committee is to find these issues and push it to the town. So.
Well, one of the things, Justin, with regard to that line of thought is chapter 115 funding that veterans provide to, the state of Massachusetts provides to our veterans. Those that have some of the issues with living expenses, they can file chapter 115 and get a check.
Yep.
From the town. A lot of veterans don't know that exists. I don't know the status of most of our veterans in town, but if there are any that need the funding like that, it is available to them. I think they call it chapter 115.
Okay, I'll have to dig into that.
You can check with Jeff. He has some people I know that I'm not sure if they're Grafton or maybe they're possibly Westboro that he had talked to me about.
Yeah.
But checks are available to people.
Okay. Yeah, I just really want to get out and see what the town is able to do with this. The state offers a lot of benefits that are out there, but just to be honest, the state property tax exemption is low when you look at a lot of other states.
Right.
So.
But the state one is basically for disabled veterans.
Yep.
Veterans with a disability rating. I think like on your line of thought as well, that there are veterans that can use help, that the town possibly can look forward and help.
Yep. So, once again, things to think about for next year, just trying to get everybody's brains working over the holidays while we're all eating turkey and taking our naps. And then the other thing that was brought up to me is Bill Hanley brought up Hillcrest Cemetery. So this is the cemetery by the Grafton State Hospital.
Yeah.
It's overrun. He has been mowing it. He said he's basically tired of mowing it, and it's long grass and everything. So I was talking with a couple of different people, talked with Jeff Farrell about it, and the cemetery is in Shrewsbury,
In Shrewsbury.
but they don't maintain it. We don't
Nope.
maintain it. We think it's a state cemetery. The state doesn't maintain it. So I
Nope.
told Jeff if he could pull in the Shrewsbury VSO himself and the state VSO and myself into a call, we could probably figure this out fairly quickly. Who owns it and who should take care of it?
Jeff is the Shrewsbury VSO.
Then there's somebody else over there. He specifically said that there's another veterans rep in Shrewsbury that was asking the same question. Maybe it was like the cemetery guy like Darrow is for us, but there is somebody over there asking these same questions to Jeff. So if we could just, he was going to reach out to the state rep to try to figure out some more information. but this is something that's I'm gonna move to the trustees agenda, but I did wanna throw it out there, cause our next trustees meeting won't be until January as well.
So let me back you up one topic.
Yep.
Do you wanna request to be on a future EDC agenda? And if yes, when?
Yeah, so my thought with this, with the budget, your budget, what the town budget is June, July, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it probably needs to be in like February. Because when do y'all start putting the budget together?
Pretty soon coming up.
Is January too late? Would it need to be in February too late? Would it need to be in January?
The earlier the better.
Yeah, the earlier the better. What kind of money are we talking about?
I have no idea. What I just don't want, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do anything this quick. And then it's right after the holidays, so how many people are gonna show up to the January meeting? You know, so that's why I was thinking February might be better, cause you typically, nobody is out of town, everybody's just kinda hanging out.
Well, let's do this. Let's shoot for January,
Okay,
and then failing that, definitely February.
yeah.
But I have a funny feeling that no matter which month we go before them to chat, nothing's gonna happen that night, obviously.
No. And I don't really have many ideas. I'm outside of my comfort zone with this area. I don't know what the town can do, what the EDC can do to pull in more businesses.
Well, I am on EDC also. And I was just letting you speak. So I know with the election, and we had to do some restructuring, and we haven't had not had a meeting in a while. Just had one last month, and I will have to look and see when the next one is scheduled. So I can ask the chair about that. I
Okay.
can request that, how and when can we get on the agenda?
Yep.
I will say from my personal experience, so to speak, is that this is something that we struggle with across the board, businesses in general. We're trying to target anyone that wants to come to Grafton to try. I don't know that targeting a specific group such as veterans would, if they would wanna just try that, I don't know.
I know, but he never responds back to me. 2 years trying to get him coordinated with the parade, and I can only talk to everybody else that works for him.
So,
Well, there's your
Anyway.
contact.
There is my contact. Okay,
all right,
so I have questions, cause I wanna try to get this,
we wanna.
get up to speed, so I may reach out to you beforehand, it depends, I gotta do some Google research first,
Yeah,
because like, how do you target? And that's my questions, you know? It sounded like Anne Marie was willing to entertain, she
Yeah.
thought the property tax thing was linked to the veteran-owned business. So, she was willing to entertain that at a minimum. Like,
Yeah.
maybe there's some benefits to veteran-owned businesses in Grafton that we could start to advertise to people.
I know one of the other towns has we'll call it a fund that, because, well, they obviously have a better, commercial tax base than Grafton does, but they have a fund where you can apply for, we'll call it a grant. You're gonna start a business,
Yeah.
you'll get a grant for X number of dollars, whatever, maybe that grant helps you put your sign or whatever on the building, or window, whatever, something to that effect. So there's an incentive, so to speak, there. If we can, I know something like, trying to get something like that into Grafton would be a long way off, but it could be something that we could, try proposing
Yeah.
and see if we can get it, just like Andy's plaque, we start now and 10 years not later, it'll be happening. I don't know.
totally expect this to take forever.
Yes, I agree with you.
So-
I agree. So, but you're right, you don't know until you ask.
Right.
And then so I'll stop by talking to the chair, see what we're getting on the agenda, and then ask, how do we reach out to businesses in general as a town, other than putting, hey, come on down on our Facebook page. And then from there, we can say, hey, how could we target a specific group? You know, that may come through DAV, may come through places like Veterans Inc. downtown, or, you know, the VSO itself, I don't know.
Well-
Or the veteran,
And I mean, since you're on the committee, ask them when they would want us to come
yeah,
as well. They may not, you know, if they do a meeting in January, February, they may not be ready for us there, because it
you're right,
sounds like they're kind of struggling with some of the things that I'm gonna ask for.
yes.
So-
Yeah, we definitely are.
You know, I'm not expecting them to have answers,
Yeah.
but I definitely, you know, once we start, it's gonna be like everything we do. Once we start, then let's start.
Yeah.
And let's keep it moving forward, so,
Mm-hmm,
okay,
okay.
thank you. Anything else on that? That is it for agenda items. Is there anything else that people would wanna cover that was not on the agenda? And I'll go around the room just because we've got 3 people on, Zoom. So Andy, do you have anything you wanna bring up?
Just the fact that both the commanders I talked to on Veterans Day do wanna come in, and they're waiting for their invitation to make sure that they're on the agenda, and, they're coming loaded for bear, they're not really happy with us.
That is not what we're hearing from them.
Well, maybe, I'm sorry, I'm talking over you. Maybe at that moment, when we were all dealing with this miscommunication about that event, it might have been
That's
a
what
point of
we're talking
contention.
about, the miscommunication,
Right,
not,
okay.
not, nothing specific, but I suspect it has to do with the plaque and the flagpoles.
Yeah.
But, it's past history now,
Yeah.
they wanna know specifically what we're doing, and I told them, we wanna know what you're doing as well, so they said it could be a long meeting.
Well, we're gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone on that one. January, when we talk about our 2025 calendar,
Yes.
when we invite them to our meeting, I suggest we say to them, bring this with you. Bring your events for the year with you. So, like I said, I think we'll kill 2 birds with 1
Yeah.
stone with that one.
Yeah, we have to get the communication issue done.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And then backing up to the Hillcrest Cemetery, do we wanna make that an event? Requesting volunteers, we all go out, we all clean it up.
I think if we can't figure out who's supposed to take care of it, we'll wanna do that before Memorial Day, definitely.
Regardless of who does
So,
it.
well, let's do it this way. When we find out who's responsible for it, we kind of, you're right, we make it a community service event.
Right.
Yes.
But it doesn't really matter to us. You know, it's not getting done now.
No, I
It doesn't
agree.
really matter whose responsibility it is, we
No.
just go and do it.
I understand that, but we, at least we can put a name or whatever, or a responsible party to it.
Bill Hanley has been mowing it.
Yep.
Right.
Carmen has been mowing it. Prior to Memorial Day, he goes up and with 2 or 3 guys from the post, and they mow the grass. And they, make sure the rope is secure on the flagpole. They put a new flagpole up there a couple of years ago. They had aluminum collapsible, and it collapsed totally. But they've been taking care of it.
Yeah.
All right? But again, they're not responsible for it. Shrewsbury's not responsible for it. I've gone up and done work around the stone that has the plaque with the 14 names on it, okay? It's a volunteer type thing right now, and like I said, Shrewsbury says it's not theirs, Grafton says it's not theirs. Grafton has gone up with a one of those tractors with the weed whacker on it, and they've taken some of the brush down. But again, we have to find out who is responsible for it and, make sure it gets done.
Yeah, I think we have time.
Yeah.
Not just for Memorial Day.
Yep.
I mean, year round.
And I mean, it's winter right now. We're not, or soon to be, so we're not gonna be
No,
doing this right now. So I think we have time between now and early spring next year. And then at that point, February timeframe, we still don't know. Yeah. And Holly, this is probably gonna be a great Eagle Scout kind of cleanup opportunity or Boy Scout opportunity. Boy and Girl Scouts, I should say. So,
maybe it becomes something where, with the senior tax work-off thing that they have in the town, they have seniors that man the brush dump throughout the week. Maybe we have a senior assigned to that, and that's their tax work-off. Something that we can propose it.
Yeah.
And have it added to the list of
What-
qualifying items or whatever.
what is, never mind. Yeah, town can figure that out. Okay.
If you can't find somebody to take responsibility for it, you could do like they do on some of the highways in the state of Massachusetts. Adopt a section of the highway.
Yeah.
Or have groups take a month to do it.
Yep.
And the
You're
next-
right.
And pass
Okay.
the buck to the next group the next month.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that we have a lot of options and we have some time. So let me give Jeff a chance to see what he can do. I'm also, we all pay taxes, and if it's state owned, the state needs to take care of it because then why am I paying them money?
Yeah,
So let's see what they come back with, and then if not, we'll look at the different options that we have. And I would also kick this over to Shrewsbury because it is in Shrewsbury as well. So we alternate months or something along those lines. So I think that there's a lot of people that we could do.
you're saying Hillcrest.
That's what they call it.
Yeah.
They call it Hillcrest, or they call it the old Grafton State Hospital Cemetery.
Right,
Right.
okay. All right.
Anything else, Andy?
No problem.
All right. Holly, do you have anything?
Nothing here. I'll just make sure before the January meeting, get some of the actions I got hopefully resolved in a good way ahead for the mid-February next drive over.
Okay, sounds good. Lucas?
Got nothing?
All right. Great job with the dedication ceremonies and everything that you've been helping us out with a lot lately. So
Thank you. Welcome.
I think we're gonna have some more videos, promotional videos that we're gonna use you for.
Okay.
Did anybody take any pictures of any of those ceremonies?
Yeah, we got several pictures. I think
They're up
Andy-
on Facebook.
I'd like to see something.
they're up on Facebook. Do you have Facebook, Andy?
I don't.
Okay.
That's where they are.
All right.
Oh.
We'll see if I can download them.
All right, appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sean,
I'm good.
Bob,
Motion adjourned.
I have a motion to adjourn. Can I get a second?
Second,
So,
Next-
sorry. Next meeting is in
Next meeting.
January. January 23rd is the next meeting.
23rd,
Yep,
okay.
7 p.m. The next trustees meeting will be in January as well. I don't have the date. It's not the first Thursday of the month. I think it's the second because I wanted to give time after the holiday. But I'll do like what I normally do, send out a calendar invite and everybody will see the agenda beforehand. So, okay, now I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, roll call vote. Bob?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Holly?
I
Lucas?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Justin? Aye. This meeting is adjourned. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything y'all have done this year. It's amazing committees. We've done a lot and look forward to getting next year kicked off right.